Hi there. I'm really glad to have you here today as we explore your astrology forecast. If you're a Scorpio, or if Scorpio plays a strong role in your birth chart, then this message is meant for you. April 6 carries a quiet yet powerful energy. It's not about dramatic shifts on the outside, but rather a deeper transformation that's unfolding within. In today's video, I want to take you through that subtle transition, how it's affecting your mindset, your relationships, your work, and most importantly, your connection with yourself. We'll walk through key areas like finances, love, health, career, family, and of course, receive guidance from the tarot. I've also included the color that can support you today and the energy that's uniquely aligned with Scorpio at this moment. So think of this as a personal conversation, a space where you get to pause, reflect, and reconnect with the quiet changes shaping your next chapter. If you're ready, let's begin. This is a time when stillness doesn't mean stagnation. It's the necessary pause that allows you to take in everything you've experienced and quietly prepare for something much greater. If you find yourself suspended between what was and what's yet to come, know that you're not alone. Many Scorpios are tuning into this same current, one of subtle yet undeniable transformation. You might notice that the things which once consumed your energy, the need to control, to prove, to hold everything together, are starting to feel less urgent. Certain relationships, goals, or versions of success that once felt non-negotiable may now be viewed with more clarity and less attachment. This isn't giving up, it's evolving. The universe is reminding you that not everything needs a clear resolution to have meaning. A door may not be fully open yet, but that doesn't mean you're not moving closer. And sometimes the breakthrough comes the moment you stop needing certainty and start choosing trust. Today's energy supports release, not in a rushed or forced way, but in a way that honors your timing. If you feel the need to pause, to reflect, or simply to come back to yourself, give yourself that space. Self-care isn't something to schedule, it's something to respond to. And right now, you're being invited to respond with softness and awareness. As we move into the next sections, love, career, finances, health, carry this connection with you. Every external area of life is in some way reflecting the shifts happening within. Stability doesn't mean having it all figured out. It means being rooted enough to stand your ground, even when clarity hasn't fully arrived. And it's in this exact space where you are no longer who you were, but not quite who you're becoming, that something powerful is taking shape. You're being molded into a deeper, more grounded version of yourself. Let it happen. Today presents an ideal window for reassessing your financial strategy, not from a place of lack or urgency, but from a grounded space of awareness. There's a subtle shift in how you're relating to money now. It's no longer just about accumulation or chasing results. It's about alignment. What you choose to invest in, both energetically and materially, reflects how much you value your own time, skills, and emotional well-being. You may receive unexpected news that uplifts your sense of financial security. It could be a job offer, a client reaching out, a delayed payment finally arriving, or even an idea you've been nurturing quietly starting to show signs of growth. The key is to stay open, not only to the opportunity itself, but also to your readiness to receive it. Trust that the work you've put in, even if unseen by others, is beginning to circulate back to you in meaningful ways. Stability won't come through speed or intensity today. It will come through consistency, clarity, and a willingness to refine what's already in motion. Consider where you've been operating on autopilot when it comes to money. Are there patterns that no longer match who you're becoming? Are you spending, saving, or working from a place of fear or from a sense of purpose and vision? These questions matter now more than ever. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Even the smallest shift in perspective can redirect your financial trajectory, and the universe, particularly on a day like today, is more likely to support choices that are both thoughtful and intentional. Let your intuition guide you, but also ground your actions in reality. A well-timed, well-informed decision today could mark the beginning of a new chapter of financial empowerment, one where you feel less like you're surviving and more like you're building something that truly reflects your values. Lucky numbers for today: 4, Mom 12, Mom 26, 40. 55 to 77. Love today is less about grand gestures and more about emotional honesty, the kind that doesn't need to be loud to be transformative. Whether you're in a relationship or navigating the spaces in between, you're being asked to bring more presence and truth into how you connect, not just with another person, but also with yourself. And if you're partnered, now is a powerful time to gently open the door to conversations that have been waiting in silence. There's a softness in today's energy that supports emotional healing, not through confrontation, but through honest, compassionate listening. You may find that something left unsaid is finally ready to be voiced, and in doing so, the dynamic between you and your partner can begin to shift in subtle, meaningful ways. Let the walls down, even if just a little. Vulnerability, when met with care, becomes the glue that deepens intimacy. If you're single, don't mistake quiet for absence. There's someone, perhaps already within your orbit or about to cross your path, whose presence resonates with your depth. They may not arrive with fanfare, but with a kind of creative or emotional intensity that feels familiar. This is someone who sees the layers beneath the surface, and for that connection to form, you must first show those layers willingly. Let yourself be seen, not as an idea of perfection, but as the complex, evolving person you truly are. It's important to remember that love today is not asking you to perform, it's asking you to be. That may mean showing up when it feels easier to retreat, or saying what you truly feel, even if you're unsure how it will land. Authenticity is your magnet right now. The more honest you are in how you show up emotionally, the more aligned the connections you attract. As we move into the area of career and purpose, carry this openness with you. The same inner clarity and emotional integrity that deepen your relationships will also guide you toward more meaningful, fulfilling work. The way you love, communicate, and relate is deeply connected to how you lead, create, and serve in the world. Let your heart remain open as you step forward. Professionally, you may find yourself at a crossroads, one that asks whether you'll continue along the familiar path or take a risk that better reflects who you're becoming. The tension between stability and growth is real, but it's not meant to paralyze you. It's meant to guide you inward, toward your values. Let your decisions be shaped by what feels aligned with your integrity, not by the pressure to maintain what no longer excites or nourishes you. There may be a woman or a figure with strong feminine energy showing up now. Someone grounded, perceptive, and perhaps more experienced in the realm you're stepping into. She may offer an invitation, insight, or a form of support that helps clarify your direction. Whether it's a business partnership, financial backing, or simply a conversation that shifts your perspective, pay attention to who is entering your space right now. Their presence is not random. This is also a day to trust the strength of your ideas. If you've been holding back a creative proposal or hesitating to bring your vision to the table, now's the time to speak. Your perspective carries weight, not because it's louder than others, but because it comes from a place of depth. You don't need to compete to be heard. You simply need to express what's real for you. That sincerity is what people will respond to. What you're building professionally doesn't have to happen all at once. You're not behind. In fact, you may be further ahead than you realize, especially if you've been doing the internal work to align your career with your emotional truth. The same energy that's inviting you to open up in love is also supporting you to create from a place of clarity and conviction. As we shift into the topic of health and well-being, remember that your career choices and your emotional state are deeply interconnected. Burnout, stress, and even creative blocks often signal that something within you is asking for more balance, more space, or more meaning. Listen closely. The way you work should support your life, not consume it. You may notice a subtle mental or emotional fatigue today, not overwhelming, but enough to slow you down, to make you pause. Rather than pushing through it, see it as a message from your body and your spirit that it's time to return to yourself. These moments of weariness aren't obstacles to productivity. They're signals that you've been carrying more than you realize, and that it's time to recalibrate. Simple practices like journaling, breath work, or walking without distraction can help you clear the internal noise and reconnect with your center. Even just 10 minutes of conscious stillness can shift your energy more than an entire day of mindless motion. The goal isn't to feel better immediately. It's to begin creating space for what your body and nervous system need to recover. Listen closely to what your physical body is communicating. That lingering tension in your shoulders, the heaviness in your chest, the tired eyes, it's all information, not to be ignored or medicated away, but acknowledged with care. Rest is not laziness. It's a conscious act of self-respect. And when you honor your own rhythms, you become more attuned to life's larger rhythms as well. This is especially important now as your internal and external transformations begin to mirror one another. The emotional openness you're being asked to hold in love and the creative courage you're stepping into at work both require energy. To sustain this growth, you must also be replenishing yourself. Healing and expansion must move together. As we turn toward the topic of family, relationships, and support systems, carry this same awareness with you. How you care for yourself influences how you show up in your closest bonds. The more nourished you are, the more grounded and present you can be with those you love, and the more clearly you can discern who truly supports your well-being. Today brings a subtle but meaningful opening in the realm of family and long-standing connections. Conversations that may have been avoided or delayed could now find their way to the surface. If this happens, allow yourself to meet it with presence, not preparation. It's not about having the perfect response. It's about truly listening, not with your defenses, but with your heart. Sometimes healing begins the moment we choose to hear what someone else has been holding, even if it's uncomfortable. There may also be a reconnection with someone from your past, perhaps a friend with whom time and distance created silence or even tension. If they reach out, and you feel a quiet inner readiness to meet them again, this could be an opportunity to rewrite a narrative that's long felt unfinished. Forgiveness doesn't require forgetting, and it doesn't mean condoning everything that happened. It simply means releasing the hold the past has had over your energy. Pay attention to who feels nourishing and safe to be around now. You're more sensitive to energy than usual, and your capacity for emotional depth means that surface-level conversations might feel especially draining. Gravitate toward those who meet you where you are, who respect your boundaries, and who allow you to be both strong and vulnerable without needing you to choose one or the other. This emotional attunement isn't limited to your personal life. It's the same awareness that will serve you in love, in your work, and in the decisions you're making about who gets to walk with you through this next chapter. As we move into the final part of today's guidance, keep this in mind. Everything you allow or release now, every conversation you open or boundary you hold, is shaping the emotional ecosystem in which your transformation will take root. Be intentional, be honest, and above all, be kind to yourself in the process. Today, emotional compatibility plays a significant role in how your connections unfold. You're likely to resonate most deeply with those who are intuitive, grounded, and emotionally present. Individuals who don't just hear your words, but feel the meaning behind them. Cancer, Virgo, and Pisces may offer the kind of empathy, steadiness, and emotional reciprocity that feels truly nourishing right now. These are the people who understand the value of quiet support and who can hold space for both your intensity and your softness. On the other hand, be mindful of interactions that leave you feeling depleted or confused. You're more attuned to emotional manipulation than usual, and anyone who disregards your boundaries or attempts to overstep your inner space will be felt immediately, even if they don't say much. Trust your instinct here. You don't need to explain your intuition to anyone. The way someone makes you feel in their presence is information enough. As you navigate this energy, the color olive green becomes a quiet but powerful ally. It speaks to your desire for healing, not just from old wounds, but from internal expectations that no longer serve you. It encourages resilience without rigidity, change without chaos. When you wear it, surround yourself with it, or simply meditate on it, let it remind you that renewal doesn't have to be loud. It can be steady, rooted, and enduring. And if the day feels heavy at times, or if you sense that you're releasing more than you anticipated, come back to this affirmation. I allow myself to heal, to be loved, and to step freely into the brightness of what's next. Let it land, not just in your mind, but in your body. Let it guide the way you move through your decisions, your conversations, and the quiet moments in between. Because everything you're choosing now, even the subtle shifts, is preparing you for a new chapter that isn't about becoming someone else. It's about returning more fully to who you've always been. And that, Scorpio, is the real power of your transformation. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you've made it this far, I want you to know it's not by accident. There's something in you that's ready for a deeper kind of shift. And even just showing up to listen is part of that transformation. I know the path you're on isn't always easy. For a sign like Scorpio, change rarely comes without intensity, but it also comes with incredible depth, clarity, and renewal. Whatever you're moving through right now, emotionally, spiritually, or even quietly inside your own thoughts, trust that it's shaping you into someone more rooted, more honest, and more aligned than ever before. So take what resonated today, leave what didn't, and return to yourself whenever the noise gets too loud. You don't have to rush. You don't have to know what's next. You just have to keep showing up with intention, with softness, and with the quiet belief that something beautiful is unfolding, even if you can't see the full picture yet. I'll be here when you're ready for the next step. Until then, take care of yourself and keep moving forward in your own way at your own pace. You're doing better than you think.